we know that across all of our clients, across a number of different verticals, there is still a 16% of calls being missed by business owners every day. So by having a solution like WildJar in place, you will gain access to a dedicated missed call report, which will tell you what time of the day, what day of the week you're missing the most calls, because potentially those missed calls can turn into missed opportunities.
Alrighty, so joining me on the call today, I've got Andy Vita from WildJar. Welcome to the call, Andy.
Hey, David. Thank you. Great to be here.
Pleasure. Look, maybe give us a bit of a snapshot. WildJar, what do they do?
Awesome. So WildJar is a call tracking solution. We help businesses understand exactly which marketing channels are driving valuable phone leads. I don't know if our viewers today know much about call tracking as a concept, but in a nutshell, it's a marketing tool that has been around for a number of years. Back in the days, it was used to track traditional advertising channels, such as newspapers listing, radio ads, TV, flyers, you name it. And the principle behind it is very, very simple. Businesses would allocate a unique phone number, different for every marketing channel. So at the end of the month or the quarter or the year, they could track how many calls were being generated from each campaign. By doing so, obviously, they could go back and optimize budget and just pull budget from those campaigns that were underperforming and just allocate more to those marketing channels that were driving more ROI.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
so I was just going to say, look, you talked about this being traditional, right? And I think people in business, they're spending a lot of money on marketing these days. They've got a lot of options in front of them. We've got Facebook advertising, we've got Google ads, we've got SEO, we've got so many different channels. And when you talked about this idea of tracking, the old way was, how did you hear about us?
Exactly.
And the problem with that is when someone asks that question inconsistently, where do they store that information? So the idea of having a unique phone number for every marketing campaign or channel takes away the problem of tracking, right?
Exactly right. And I've got another good one. There is an old saying that goes, half of my marketing budget has gone to waste. The problem is I don't know which half.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't know at the time what marketing channels were driving phone leads. But obviously with solutions like WildJar and with the massive shift that happens towards online advertising, now we can track phone calls back to online journeys and not only traditional marketing channels.
Right.
At present, we pretty much apply the same principle of allocating a unique number per different marketing channels, with the only difference that we've got a piece of JavaScript, just a tracking code that goes on the site and just replaces every single number on the site with one of our virtual numbers. So when that phone call is placed toward that number, we capture the online journey of the customer, how they got to the website in the first place. Was it a Google ads click? Was it a Facebook ads campaign? And so on.
Yeah, fantastic. So really what we're saying is that I can now, when the phone rings, I can tell the channel that person came through. So the actual marketing spend that was allocated to that call.
Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Look, I suppose that's important because now I can tell what's working and what's not working. The second piece of the puzzle that you mentioned was the speed, I think, by which we respond to these inquiries and what actually happened on the call. So knowing where it came from is one thing, but tell me what happens next. So the call comes in. I know it's from Google AdWords campaign number 2. The call recording is quite a significant component of this as well, right?
Exactly. Call recording is quite important. Knowing what your customers want, knowing what they search for, knowing what keywords they're using in order to inquire about a service or a product. Yeah. And we can facilitate all that. Also, it's quite important to work on your phone skills, because we know for a fact that simply by being polite over the phone increases conversions levels by 20%, which is crazy if you think about it. The phone call itself, it's at the very bottom of the funnel, since we've callers have done their market research. They've compared us with, different businesses. Now they're ready to inquire, they're ready to purchase. So that first interaction is key.
Right. So you're recording the actual phone calls?
Yeah, we are. All of the phone calls are recorded.
You're solving the issue of the salesperson saying the leads are crap.
Exactly.
And the marketing company saying the salesperson's crap.
That's pretty much it. So we work two ways. We help businesses from an operational standpoint, so they can listen back to their phone calls and just train their staff if needed. And at the same time, we help them understand how well is their marketing agency is performing. And we also work with digital marketing agencies, which is our biggest vertical. We work with about more than 100, like a couple of hundred agencies only in Australia and more in New Zealand and UK that use our technology to firstly claim efficiency of their campaign, saying that there is no uncertainty. These valuable leads are coming from your Google Ads campaign because it's a unique number there. So we know that for a fact. That at the same time, since we do provide keyword attribution level, for example, what keywords are driving the phone calls, they can also go back and optimize those campaigns. And also from a business owner perspective, they log into the dashboard and they see all of this valuable data that is relevant to them in order to get more of those leads.
So you've been doing this for a while. Can you tell me what are the most obvious things that are going wrong that the business owner needs to know about, or they find out by using this kind of service?
Look, ideally, again, just make helping the agency and the business making informed decision on what marketing channels, what avenues to explore when it comes to advertising in order to obviously generate a bigger ROI and drive more revenue. But again, if the business owner is relying on phone calls to drive revenue, it's quite key to keep your phone skills very, very sharp. Keep an eye on the phones. Try to miss very few calls is possible. We know that across all of our clients, across a number of different verticals, there is still a 16% of calls being missed by business owners every day. So by having a solution like WildJar in place, you will gain access to a dedicated missed call report, which will tell you what time of the day, what day of the week you're missing the most calls, because potentially those missed calls can turn into missed opportunities, because especially in those industries that are very competitive when it comes to Google Ads or any form of advertising. If the call is not answered, the customer is ready to purchase. If the call is not answered, they might click on someone else's ad or just give the business to someone else, which obviously translates in missed revenue. And we do have some sales intelligence features in place where we send out instant alerts to business owners to notify them that a call has been missed. They can activate a call back, and at the same time we can send an SMS to the caller that says, "Hey, thanks for calling ABC Dental. I'm sorry, we have missed your call. Please hang on. We'll call you back within 5 minutes." So since they've done the market research, they might just wait for that call back.
So is the technology limited to phones, or can we also track conversations that are occurring through email or through Messenger or through chat?
It's funny you mentioned it. We were just working on releasing our form fill tracking. So our tracking code will also be able to attribute online conversions, which are form fills and email inquiries and live chats, back to the marketing channels that are generating that. So
in the end, I think what we're talking about is the speed to respond.
Yeah.
And the expectation, I think, of most consumers now is if I'm on a website and I have a question, I get it answered.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Any delay in response, whether it's telephone or chat, is sort of giving me a first impression of that company, right?
Absolutely. First interaction is key. And especially when it comes to emotional sort of purchases, that can be a car or a new kitchen or anything really. So
really, is it a big step to integrate this type of technology into my website?
No, that's quite our solution is quite unique in market, and implementation is made very, very easy, and that's why we're a fairly new business. We've been in business for about 5 years, but the growth has been pretty fast for us, and Yeah, I mean, implementation takes a couple of minutes, and that's why agencies and channel partners go to market and white label our solution, simply because it's quite easy for them to onboard new clients and help them track their phone calls. But obviously, with it being a very affordable solution as well, we also get the business owners coming direct to us, which
When you say affordable, what sort of costs is a typical small business looking at?
Look, there's a technology subscription, which is about $39 for the month, Australian dollars.
Yeah.
And then there is some usage-based rates. There is a line rental and then per minute rate. But yeah, just to give you an idea, it turns out to be something close to something around the 3 to 4% of the overall marketing spend. So very, very minimum compared to obviously the visibility that you'd gain by having our solution implemented.
Yeah, because I think people get confused and they think it's all about advertising dollars when really there's a pipeline that needs to be effective as well.
100%.
I often refer to Google and Facebook as a vacuum cleaner hose in your bank account.
Yeah,
they tend to be quite happy to take as much as you'll give them. But if you're not monitoring the conversions, you could be throwing a lot of money down the toilet. So I think like in terms of small business, because that's our target market, we're talking about people in that sort of $1 to $2 million revenue area. What's your advice to them when it comes to technology like this?
Know your customers. Understand again what they search for, how they got to know your business, why they called. Provide a great customer experience on the phone. Be polite, acknowledge their interest, and just try to limit missed opportunities.
Yeah, and I think like when you touched on the whole idea of capturing calls, it's not really being Big Brother. It's really just monitoring quality, because if we don't know, and typically probably the most inconsistent chain in the link is the human factor. Person taking the phone call, and I've had this experience where the wrong person answers the phone, and it's just like they've just burnt the lead. Right now, that's okay if it happens occasionally, but if it's happening consistently, our conversion is going to be super low, and it's not going to be because of the leads. It's going to be because of the person in reception or the person that's answering that phone call. So capturing that information and being able to audit it and make sure that
and improve it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. So if people want access to this, what's the easiest way to find out more about the product?
Just shoot us an email and just visit our website. We'll be more than happy to just organize a demo and take you through our solution.
Yeah, fantastic. So really, like if you're in that space where you're investing in marketing and you're not sure what your conversion is, and you're hearing the story from the marketing agency saying, well, the leads are good, it's your problem, and then your salespeople are going, the leads are crap. If you don't have consistency or congruity between those two interfaces, I think this is the answer to that problem, isn't it?
No more uncertainty. I like my background is digital marketing. I used to work for a digital marketing agency here in Sydney, and we'd face like great agency, but we'd still face these sort of issues. I mean, like I did enjoy the thrills and celebrating the wins, but there were times where clients were like, okay, yeah, my phone is ringing, but how do I know it's your Google Ads campaign?
Yeah.
With WildJar, there's no uncertainty in this. Yeah.
Well, that, like, a business owner, for me, marketing is an investment. And if it's making me a profit, I'll throw more money. But if I'm not sure, then I can't make that decision. So I think we're taking the risk out of the marketing investment by just making sure we've got an audit trail as to the yield or what's working, what's not working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Andy, look, I appreciate your time today. Some really good insight into the product and I suppose how it can help people improve their conversion and improve their marketing investment. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Cheers.